70,000 euros is what we paid for this house and the outbuildings and the almost 1 acre of land. I think it's just over 3,800 square meters. But of course, there's a lot more to the costs of doing a project like this than just what did the house cost. And so in this video, we're going to go through some of those because it's one of the most asked questions that we get in the comments, via email, on Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, all the places where people ask all things. And actually, this is the first in a series of videos where we're going to answer a lot of your questions. We'll talk a bit more about that towards the end because obviously people just want to know about the costs of things. So we will talk a bit more about the context of the house and some of the other things that we've paid for to build and live this new life. But we just wanted to cut to the chase, so 70k is what we paid for this. Let's go and find Kylie and talk a little bit about some of the other related costs, because she's the woman who knows all about the money stuff. Stay. Hello.
Hello.
I need you for a video.
Let me just get a few more of these.
Is that lunch?
It is lunch and snack for the chickens.
A snack for the chickens.
These lettuces are going crazy. I can't pick them fast enough. They're going so big.
Those are huge leaves.
I know, and I harvested these yesterday, leaving some nice gaps that they've filled in.
People have lots of questions.
Oh, so many questions.
And obviously the biggest one is, how much did we pay for
That is
the
a big
house?
one. There is another big one that many people ask that we will get to at some point in the future, about our past and other videos and
Other
big
names.
mystery thing, which we will get to when we can. But the big question is always, how much did we pay? And then more recently we've started getting questions about the renovation costs, which obviously are ongoing. But let's talk about orange.
They're still dropping. It's June and we still have an orange problem. Let me take this lettuce from you.
Let's put in context what we bought first. We are in Portugal, in central Portugal, in the middle of the interior of central Portugal, which if you look at it on a map, there's really not a lot going on around us. We are 5 minutes drive to a village. Then we are 20 to 25 minutes drive from the biggest, let's call it a town. And
It is a town.
It is a town. And then it's an hour's drive-ish to a big city. So we're really in the middle, very rural. It's very agricultural. We're surrounded by other people who are doing farming. So we paid 70,000 euros for a house that is a footprint of 70 square meters. It had a first floor, and on the ground floor it had one room with a concrete base, which we're converting now into 2 floors, but it wasn't really in a livable condition. And we have just shy of an acre, again overgrown, but it has fruit trees and olive trees and vines.
And a well.
And a well and
outbuildings.
Yeah, it's got, so the outbuildings have got a footprint of 87 square meters. 2 gates, fenced. So that's what we bought, 70,000 euros. On top of that, all of the fees, which are lawyers' fees, notary fees, land registry, etc., come to just over 4,000 euros. But a very large part of that was dealing with a title issue that we had with the land. So when we first bought the house, we bought just the house and then had to go through the court system to change the title of this land because it was attached to the plot next door. So that took almost a year for a lawyer to sort out, and there was a lot of costs in there. So 500 euros alone for the land survey to separate the plots, and then land registry and the court costs, etc. So it would normally be 4,000 euros. And we still have one outstanding unpaid piece of work that our lawyer is working on, and that is registering the outbuildings. So the outbuildings were not legal when we purchased this, which means that they couldn't be redeveloped without the potential that the camera would come along and ask for them to be taken down. So we asked our lawyer, how possible is it? She said, pretty easy, it just takes time. So it's currently all been done bar the paperwork at the land registry. So I'm guessing roughly all of those costs will come to another 500 euros. So we're all in then for 74.5, which is pretty good coming from London, where you wouldn't even be able to buy a garage for that price tag.
Well, in certain parts of London. So that's about the purchase price, the starting cost for the big project that we're doing here. But of course there's a lot more to it than that, and there's a lot of work that we need to do, both on the land, in the house, and the outbuildings, which we've not even started and barely even talked about before. But let's go inside just to set the scene and give you some more visual context, and maybe we'll talk you through some of the things that we've already spent on the project so far.
It's a bit of a trip, hasn't it?
Nice house.
Yeah.
Some people may say that we overpaid for this.
We've done a lot of rip out in this particular.
Yeah, it didn't look like this when we bought it. It actually now looks worse.
But the damp smell is gone, so that's good. We have a lot of work to do, and we have already done 18 months worth of work. Not all of it in the house, because the land also takes quite a bit of wrangling.
Huge amount of time.
The high level number for what we've spent on the renovation so far, and this includes things like the solar install, the setting up the deck and the tent, that whole setup with the solar shower and blah blah blah, all the tools and things that we've bought, all the tools and things we've bought for the land, like the big BCS mower thing, the chipper, etc. And all the house stuff, the drainage, the guttering, the lacquer, the lime. We're 45k in so far. We estimate, it's nice that it only cost us 74.5 grand to buy it, but our rough budget is double that for the house and the outbuildings, not including any of the land stuff. And I think out of the 45k we've spent so far, about 10 of that was dedicated to the land. So the chickens, the gardens, the BCS, the chipper,
the
compost.
Tent, the deck.
No, I think the tent and the deck are in the renovation, because in order to do the renovation we needed somewhere to live. It's not land.
That makes sense.
The same with the solar, that's in with the house or the renovation, not with the land. So I do have two sort of separate tallies that I'm keeping track of. We originally said, when we first bought the place and did our budget, we were like 100k for the house would probably be about right, but we'd also thought that we'd get some builder help. That may not be possible. It's really difficult to find good builders that are available that want to work on this type of project. Difficult. So it's going to take a lot of work and it's going to take a lot of money. And thankfully we have a steady stream of income. So that obviously helps, as well as we had a pot of money to start with.
And actually that pot of money we haven't touched, because
we're going so slow, that we can just kind of drip feed. Most of the work is labour, and we have plenty of that.
Speak for yourself.
It does take us time, a lot of time, a lot longer than if we had 20 people here. But I particularly like the work, even the digging, whereas guys are a little bit more adverse to the hard physical stuff.
That is not strictly true.
Yeah, you don't like it.
Well,
you do it.
I don't see how anyone could like digging for months on end. But
physical labour tells you that you're alive, and at almost 50, it's like, it's good to feel alive.
Morning, chickens. Alrighty, welcome to the outbuildings. We've got a small selection of falling down structures, which I think date back to near when the house was originally built. The one in the corner is a stone construction, and maybe not quite as thick walls as the house, but very similar stone, similar style. But the rest of them are red brick and concrete, although this one here I think was put together with lime mortar between the bricks, so probably dates to around the 40s or 50s. The house itself dates back to, well, it started being built in the mid-30s, was finished in 42, I believe. So, this is a mess, which we are going to fix one day. This is going to be like our, how would you describe it?
Agricultural support building.
This is going to be our agricultural support area, what we currently call the carport, where the BCS, and the cement mixer that's going to be like an outdoor kitchen. The stone building will be like a prep kitchen where we got some indoor space for dealing with all the food that comes off the land. This building here was originally for animals. We are currently storing lots of wood and cardboard and animal feed and bedding in there. That is going to be storage. And then this lovely looking building on the end, which we call the church because it's got a little seashell cross on one of the walls. That's going to be the workshop. I almost said Kylie's workshop, but it is actually going to be our shared maker space where I will probably do as little work as possible, but maybe make some things. But that's going to be like a multi-function space for woodworking, maybe metalworking in the future, maybe sewing, not by me, maybe knitting, also not by me, other kinds of crafty type things. I might put my editing suite in there, but probably don't want it there if there's lots of wood dust flying around. Anyway, I need to find a space for that as well, because obviously we make lots of videos and lots of content and lots of other related things relating to that. But yeah, these are the outbuildings, and it is actually a bigger footprint than the house. It's basically like a whole other renovation project. But the plan is to do a timber frame and hemp brick build for what is currently the red brick buildings, and tie it all together with a nice roof. Maybe a roof terrace on top of the carport. Many options. We'll see how we go in terms of energy, time, money, and all of that kind of stuff. You want to talk about the series?
We're going to do a new series. It's going to be videos going out.
It's a chicken series?
It's not a chicken series. But this is our lovely chicken who loves to jump up on our table and spill our coffee and our wine.
She likes to drink the wine.
She's so noisy. It's not a chicken series. It's a question and answer series. It's going to be probably on a Monday night. They're going to be short. They're going to answer one or maybe a couple of other related questions if they're very related. And the reason is twofold. One is to make our life a little bit easier. We get sent either via email, direct message, YouTube, zillions of questions, and I don't have the time to answer them all, and there's a lot of them that are repeats, and so rather than have to answer them individually to everyone, I figured we'll just get all the questions that are regularly asked and we'll do a little short video, and then when someone asks that question I can point them to the video. So that's a win for me. The other win for you is there's more videos to watch, and you get to learn a little bit more about us and where we've come from and how we managed to do this renovation, etc. We get to answer all your questions and you get to watch more content. And another reason we're doing videos this way, as in lots of short little videos, 5 to 10 minutes, we have done a big question video before, but it ended up being over an hour long. And I know I don't want to watch an hour worth of questions and answers, even by my favorite person, to find the one question that I actually want answered. So we figured this was a better format so that if you're interested in the question, you can watch the video. If you're not, you don't have to. So yeah, leave your questions on your platform of choice. I read them all, and we will collate them and get those out to you as soon as we can.
So there you go. If you have questions, we might have answers. We're going to try and put these out every Monday, but sometimes life gets in the way and we can't guarantee that. So do bear with us. Send your questions in. We will do our very best to read all of them. We will do our best to answer them all as well. But again, we can't guarantee that. So stick a comment, send an email, drop us a DM on Instagram. Whichever method works best for you, we will find it. And hopefully you'll get an answer in the not too distant future. And for all of you long-time viewers who are perhaps wondering what happened to the old world and what is the deal with this new world, well, we are going to answer that eventually, but of course it's complicated and we needed to wait for a few things to get in place before we were willing, able and happy to talk about it. All will be revealed at some stage. Please bear with us. It's never as simple as you might think. But that's it for now. We'll see you in the next one. See you later. Bye bye.